This is Dolynny TV, friends. Welcome aboard this evening as I just want to quickly touch on something that I feel is pretty important coming out of last night's game for the Oilers going into the rest of the week and moving forward throughout the rest of the month as the Oilers look to unbury themselves from the early deficit. Well, 3-game losing streak. It's not much in the course of a season, but it's a lot right out of the gate. So let's get set to discuss that in a matter of moments. But if you're new to the channel, friends, consider hitting that subscribe button and sticking around here on Dolynny TV. I'd love to have you aboard for what is going to be a fun, action-packed NHL season, as we have already found out so far through 4 games. The Oilers in comeback fashion last night, winning the hockey game. And of course, well, you know what? It comes on the basically coattails of Corey Perry and Troy Stecher throwing the fists and standing up for Stuart Skinner and making sure there is a message sent to the NHL and, of course, specifically the Philadelphia Flyers in that game that it is not cool to take liberties with our guys. And of course, that's what Sean Couturier kind of did with Stu Skinner. Whether you want to call it a dive or not, I don't care. Anytime a guy buzzes the tower on your goaltender like that, you got to make him pay. And the Oilers, over the past several years of me watching, have been all too guilty of being way too soft on guys taking liberties with core key pieces. And ultimately last night, that's what I think, yeah, the Draisaitl benching is important, but the fact that the Edmonton Oilers stood up, and that is on Chris Knoblauch as well, and went out there and delivered exactly what was wrong with them in the first few games. They delivered what they should have been in those first few games in terms of fight, compete, urgency, desperation, all the good stuff you want to see in a good hockey game. The Edmonton Oilers came to bat in that third period and late second period and really decided to start changing the course of the tempo here in that hockey game, ultimately to win in overtime. And I'm sorry, if you want to call me a flip-flopper, that's fine, but I will tell you, quite honestly, what was special about the Flyers game last night was missing, and why I was so upset with the first 3 games. So for the Oilers is, yeah, that's what they need more of. They now need to capitalize on that and just galvanize the group off that. I know a lot of the Oilers supporters who have just swallowed the 3-game losing streak and said, it's okay, they'll be in the cup final, it's okay. I think have said, well, the team just needs time to gel. I'm telling you, if the team ain't gelled now after Troy Stecher stood up and then Corey Perry went out there and beat a guy down, I don't know what to say, because that is where you want to see this group getting going. If they're throwing hands for each other, that makes for good gelling of a hockey team. So looking forward to seeing what the Oilers have in store for us the rest of the week. But friends, I thought it was important that I touch on just how important the fights from Corey Perry and Troy Stecher truly were last night. But in terms of changing the narrative around this Edmonton Oilers team that gets called soft, gets called slow, gets called old, whatever the case might be, as long as you ain't afraid to throw them and you ain't afraid to be tough on the ice, it don't matter all the other stuff. You're going to win a lot more than you lose in the NHL level. And you watch that, right? If everybody wants to say, oh, Florida was just tougher than the Oilers, well, then it's about time we start playing tougher hockey, ain't it? After a 3-game streak to start the year in the losing fashion, and a win that comes because we played tough hockey that galvanizes the group. So, friends, I'm up on over here. You have yourself a great night. I am on.